Hey, what's going on, fam sports family? Dev here, and welcome to the SKOL Patrol. So today we've got kind of an interesting topic, and Will the Thrill Reichard. You know, when it comes to winning tight games in the NFL, there are a few positions that matter more than a clutch kicker, and Will Reichard might be one of the most reliable prospects we've seen here in a long time. But does consistency translate to Sundays in the NFL? Let's take a closer look. Please leave a like, and let us know in the comments if you think Will the Thrill Reichard can be that guy to rely on this season. Let's get right into it. So without further ado, Will Reichard. So, as I mentioned before, he is the all-time leading scorer in college football history. Will Reichard, a kicker from Alabama with 547 career points. He broke the record previously held by Keenan Reynolds, a former Navy quarterback. So that's really cool, really exciting to have something like that here as a part of the Minnesota Fighting Vikings. Let's take a look at his rookie stats here. So, in his rookie season with the Minnesota Vikings in 2024, Will Reichard played in 13 games, missing 4 due to injury. He finished the season making 24 of 30 field goal attempts and all 38 of his extra point tries, according to CBS Sports. He was 14 of 14 on field goals and 23 of 23 on extra points through week 8 before suffering a quad injury, which we'll talk about that a little bit more here in a sec. After returning in week 14, he went 10 of 14 on field goals in the final 5 weeks. He also made his lone field goal attempt in the playoff loss to the Rams. We don't talk about that. Reichard also made 8 field goals of 50-plus yards, the second most in a single season in Vikings history. So a little bit of history to be made with Will Reichard as well. And I feel like he's this close to being the guy breaking records here in Minnesota as well. So, yes. Minnesota Vikings kicker Will Reichard has a history of quad injuries. He sustained a quad injury during the 2024 season, which caused him to miss several games after being placed on injured reserve. The injury, which occurred during a game against the Indianapolis Colts, required an MRI and led to the signing of John Parker Romo, who was a great replacement. I feel like he did his thing. I think he got a job off of that as well. After getting the call from us, Reichard later returned to practice and was activated from IR, but the injury initially raised concerns about his availability. So around the time that he got this injury, I believe, is when he started missing some kicks. So this is where the troubles began, and then obviously he was put on IR. We replaced him with John Parker Romo, who was a good replacement. I mean, he got us through some games. And, the ending of that season there's not too much to complain about other than that game that I mentioned earlier. So some pretty cool stuff from Will Reichard. He's a very promising young man. He's got a lot of potential, and I think that he's going to unlock it this season. Hopefully he can hit us with some clutch kicks and do his part. Really excited about Will the Thrill. So I do have some of his rookie highlights queued up here. Looks like Will Reichard, all NFL highlights, week 1 through 7. So this is going to be before the injury. Let's check it out. Boom. So really smooth motion, like I mentioned earlier. He's got a great looking kick. And you heard him say it, the all-time leading scorer in college football. Boom. These are some little ones. He hits some big boots later on here. Man, he loves to mention that. Commentator just said it again. You see KOC, he's like, yes, we have a good kicker. So we're gradually getting further back. That was a 35er. 58-yard attempt here. Boom. This is nothing for him. That's what I've been saying, guys. I mean, this is a warm-up. Boom, off the upright. This one's my favorite one. They're like, yeah, I meant to do that. Against the Packers. Suck that. Suck that, Packers. This will be the last one here against the Jets. 54-yarder. So he's not playing around, ladies and gentlemen. You know what? We got one more here. This is a 53-yard attempt. Boom! It is good. Not even in question on that one. So we got some longer ones here. And like I said before, I mean, there was 8 past 50 yards. So kind of a stud here in Will the Thrill Reichard. Not too worried about the slump that happened last season. Like I said, when players go through injuries, sometimes this stuff happens. I think he is still the guy to rely on. He is still the leading scorer in college football history. He is still Reichard as rock, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so a couple stories of Will Reichard in the news. Looks like the AI overview on training camp. Yes, Will Reichard is participating in the Minnesota Vikings 2025 training camp. He's expected to be the starting kicker for the team this season, which is a good sign. I mean, obviously, right? Reichard, a rookie drafted in the 6th round of the 2024 NFL Draft, has been impressing during training camp, with several reports highlighting his strong performances, including hitting long field goals and making all of his kicks during drills. He was also named the starting kicker after an early competition with John Parker Romo, who was subsequently released. While some reports indicate a few rough patches during practice, particularly with long field goals, the overall sentiment is positive, and fans are optimistic about his potential for the upcoming season, which is great to hear. He is still the guy. We are still putting our faith in Will the Thrill. And I think there's going to be a lot of opportunities for my guy to be really clutch this season. Let's take a look at the news here. Have an interview. It looks like a press conference with Will Reichard from yesterday. How's that? Alrighty, so here is the interview from yesterday with Will the Thrill, straight from the Minnesota Vikings channel.
Are you comfortable, confidence? I mean, what has year 2 been like so far?
Yeah, it's been good. I think just, trying to get better each and every single day.
He seems composed.
Always the plan, but definitely got a little bit of, comfort, getting to know my teammates a little bit more. And,
ooh, as he takes a shot in the back there.
Trying to know how the drill is going to go. Yeah, definitely a little bit more comfortable for sure.
I can't imagine what that's like from year 1 to year 2. I mean, just expanding on the comfort. What is just so far? What is the comfort-wise like?
So he's saying he's a little bit more comfortable.
I mean, last year, obviously,
which is good
for OTAs and everything, but number 1, trying to make the team, and number 2, not really knowing your teammates too well. But after being with them the whole season, off season again, a little bit more camaraderie, I guess, with them, especially with my group, the specialist group that we have, Ryan, Depot, and Chap, being able to get some
really good to hear,
them, especially Depot and Ryan for the last year and a half or so.
Having a taste.
Like I said, he seems composed. He seems ready.
You handle the mind.
He seems locked in. All these boys, everything I've seen from these boys, they seem locked in, guys.
You were put in some high leverage situations last year.
I don't think so. I mean, my job is to make kicks, and no matter where the ball is at.
Love that. My job is to make kicks.
As simple as that. Not try to overcomplicate anything. Just go out there and try to do my job. That's the same way it is at every position. And just trying to go out there and do the best you can.
Can you visualize it out here?
Good stuff. Good stuff from Will Reichard here.
Games like you were last year. Does it just feel different even when you're visualizing those moments like you were in last year?
Yeah, for sure. I think obviously there's a little bit different in the NFL to college. A lot more field goals. I think the NFL obviously a lot longer season. Games are a little bit tighter.
Right.
Coming from college to the NFL games, just how it is, and so a lot more important kicks probably.
Pause here for a second. And like I said, we are going to rely on him. So it's really good to know what he's getting into here. Obviously, I mean, you see how composed he is. He just seems locked in. He seems ready. I mean, he knows what challenges lie ahead of him, and he knows that we're going to have to put some weight on his shoulders here this season. So excited for sure. Like I said, he seems locked in. He seems ready, and he seems a little bit more confident. Year 2 for Will the Thrill, and I like I said, we're going to have to rely on him, and I think we're going to be able to this season, guys. So, ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, Vikings fans, we know the pain of bad kicking. We've lived it. Blair Walsh, wide left, Dan Bailey meltdowns, Greg Joseph's weekly anxiety roller coaster. So, when the team picked up Will Reichard, it wasn't just another kicker move. It was a shot at finally getting some damn peace of mind. Reichard brings what this team has been missing for years: calm consistency and confidence. He's the NCAA's all-time leading scorer. He's nailed clutch kicks in high-pressure SEC games, and he doesn't seem to rattle. No, he's not a 60-plus yard cannon leg, but we don't need that. Honestly, we don't, guys. He's dialed in from where it's important. We need someone who can make a 45-yarder with the season on the line in those high clutch, high pressure end of game moments. And Reichard might just be that dude. I mean, you heard what he said in the interview. That's what he's working towards this offseason, and I think that's very important and really exciting to see as a Vikings fan. If he holds up in camp and transitions cleanly to the NFL, you know, we got year 2 coming up. No more kicker drama. That alone is worth celebrating in Minnesota. So let us know what you think in the comments, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you're excited about Will the Thrill and you think he can be that guy to depend on, let us know. Make sure you leave your likes, do all the things, subscribe if you're not subscribed, and hit that bell so you don't miss any weekly Vikings content. Thank you so much, guys. Dev here. Hello from Minnesota, and we'll see you in the next one.